you and Chris did last session.
Sure. So, my last session was mostly just uh Chris reviewing my stage 3 VODs
Uh-huh.
and then introducing stage 4 to me.
Okay.
So,
So,
yeah.
yeah, okay. No, that's good. So currently you're working on just minimap awareness.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I guess another question to ask then is like, um, have you played lane yet, or are you like finishing jungle before you're moving there?
I wanted to finish jungle before I move there,
Okay.
but there's like some kind of parts about laning that I found fun enough to just hop on a Smurf and try.
Okay. Yeah.
Um I didn't really put much effort into it though. But
Yeah.
like I feel like I grasp enough about how minions work that I can afford to save laning for later.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure if you and Chris talked about this already. Probably did, but basically like the jungle role as a whole has a minor ceiling that could, like within like how far you can grow within the role that can pretty much only be broken through playing lane. And that's not really because of like the minions or the wave manipulation stuff like that. That stuff is relevant but can be learned. It's more about within the jungle, um you are kind of always just facing either jungle monsters or doing a gank that's kind of pre-planned, right?
Yep.
Where the gank execution is kind of samey, generally just like pressing your buttons, and that is very different from being inside of a lane where there's always an opponent, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the reason that moving into lane is kind of necessary is because jungle only asks so much of your brain to focus on, right? It only asks your brain to focus on the lanes, right? Just mini-map awareness. It forces your brain to focus on like clearing the camps and making sure everything is correct. Focus on the pathing, and focus on like when to go for a gank or when not to go for a gank, right?
Yep.
Whereas in lane, there's just like so many more things to focus on as well. So it kind of like challenges your capability to focus on multiple things at once. And through that challenge, essentially, you gain better what people would call mechanics, what we would call like stage three, right? Where
Right.
your clicks in lane are just so much more relevant and are so much more present at all times. You can't like escape them like you can in jungle. So
That
essentially, it like becomes necessary at a certain point to move into lane just because there is just like actual challenge there, and you're actually forced to face like consequences of like minor mistakes, which happens way less in jungle. So yeah.
I think I kind of intuitively recognize this.
Hmm.
Uh there's just something about how I can make a mistake when I jungle and then like absolutely not get punished for it
Yeah.
from like silver 1 to plat 3. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really it doesn't matter how much I like sweat IRL realizing wow, I just made a mistake. Holy shit. But in lane, you're even like the smallest misstep someone at this level could just
Yeah.
punish
It's
because
way
they knew
more
it.
like it's way more visible. It's way more real, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like chess and then your opponent just didn't
Yeah.
realize it
Exactly.
could punish. It feels like a fighting game kind of.
Yes. Yes. And that's kind of where a lot of junglers basically hit a ceiling in improvement because they've done a lot of things within jungle, and like next steps are more abstract, and their like actual mechanical play isn't really like improving any further. Their ability to focus on multiple things isn't improving further, which kind of always like um essentially how you can like see the human mind or human brain in a way is that it's capable of focusing on multiple things, and the better you are at a specific skill, the less focus of your brain it needs, right?
Hmm.
Um, One of the things in jungle is that the amount of things you need to focus on is more limited, so it's more fine for your brain to like focus on everything kind of evenly and give quite a bit of focus to quite some things, right? But then lane that's way less and basically moves it so that some of the things that you normally would focus quite a bit on get to a point where you don't need to focus on them at all anymore, right?
Right.
And through that you can kind of like, improve in jungle a lot. Anyways,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that like we said, right? That can easily be something for um basically like when we're getting to a point where stage 4 is already very good, instead of like moving to stage 5, it can be a consideration to move into lane instead, and then move into jungle stage 5.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Regardless, so what I'll be looking over a little bit is, um, because you mentioned you're focusing on the minimap awareness, one of the annoying things is that it's one of those like fundamentals where I'll just have to ask you, were you looking at the minimap right now, or like,
Yeah.
did you see this? Right? There's some
Yeah.
things I can like gauge from like your POV and your decisions, but it's one of those like like stages where it's kind of just like, hey, how's it feeling?
Yeah.
Is it feeling like you're very capable of it? Or are you struggling? Okay. Um, Something I also want to focus on is just like basic pathing and making sure everything makes sense. Um, Something I like to focus on within my jungle coaching a lot is making sure that every camp you do makes sense, right? And that there's not something else that you could be doing instead, right?
But
Uh,
yeah, that's a big problem
yeah,
I have actually.
yeah. So basically, like preventing like the perma farming when it doesn't do you anything, right?
Yeah.
Or just something that me and Chris do slightly different in our process, right? Where that would be my stage 1, making sure pathing makes sense, where his is like very different. But that's very easy to match up because in the end, like the result is kind of the same. Something I always say as well is like the opening route doesn't matter to me. You can just do anything really, as long as it like makes some semblance of sense, right?
Right.
But if it's like a 4 camp, a full clear, 5 camp, I think the first clear is kind of like an opener in chess, right?
Hmm.
Obviously, there's some like absolutely wild openers, but as long as you're picking something that's like a bit standard, you're fine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's skip through a bit. Also noticing you still have chat on.
Oh yeah. I never really disabled chat. I just never thought about it.
Hmm. No, it's something that tends to help quite a lot of students, especially once they're like if they're having issues with like tilts and stuff like that. Not sure how that's with you.
Hmm. I think the thing with me and chat tilt is I'm not exactly sure what I did, but it just doesn't really affect me anymore.
Okay, that's really good. If that's the case, then you know, keep it on for as much as you want.
Yeah. I'm pretty good with like muting when I need to as
Yeah.
well.
With these F keys, just to make sure, what information are you currently looking for? Just the lane state,
Uh
or
I'm just trying to just trying to count the minion difference.
okay. And basically, there's like understanding where it's gonna go in the future.
Yeah, I also want to look at like the level ups.
Yes.
Oh god.
Yeah, this wave is looking not ideal, but if you flash here, oh,
I thought it was okay, and then he didn't follow up, so I should have just left.
yeah, especially if you know that Viego is coming up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kinda just your own fault this one.
Yeah, that was just kind of int.
Yeah. But that's like, yeah, here it's just like complete unawareness of where the enemy jungler is gonna be. Are you
Yep.
taking the spellbook or like the? Okay, never mind. Makes sense. Yeah, going this color here makes sense. It's kind of one of like the exceptions of the rules of like trying to make sure that every camp you do makes sense, right? I think going mid here would make sense too. Going bot here would make sense, although the bot lane champions are obviously a bit not ideal. Yeah, I think that rotation was good. Like thinking about moving bot there. Oh, you're not taking Grump?
No, I think I want to path since like Scion wasn't like winning lane.
Mm.
I decided to path like Wolves to Gromp and like switch the direction so I can like camp bot because I know like it's not easy to gank Ezreal Yumi, but like at least they're winning here, so
Yeah,
it's
so
like less
something
flippy.
I would like think of here, right, is about timing, right? Because I think like so essentially like what you're saying here right now, right? So like if we think about it in like a super simple sense, jungle is basically about like the questions like where do I need to be? Do I need to be top, mid, or bot? And when do I need to be there? Like how many camps can I take in between,
Yeah.
right? So if your decision is like, where do I need to be bot lane, right? Because of how Sion wasn't helping out, how mid is neutral and seems to be kind of iffy, and how bot lane just won, right? You're deciding, okay, I need to go bot, but that makes the most sense. Okay, then the question becomes like, when do you need to be there? What time, right?
Right.
And you mentioned, well, I'm gonna go wolves into Grump, and then I'll be able to go bot. But if you think about
Mm-hmm.
like this time, right? These two just got a kill, like two
Yep.
kills. They're gonna shove in, right? They're gonna
Yep.
they're gonna base after, and while they're walking back from base, you're gonna be finishing Gromp, right?
I think how it went in my mind was if I go Wolves Gromp and then recall, if I like time the recall properly, then I can run down and get a gank off. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I come back, the Wolves and Gromp have spawned again. And
Oh,
if
like that.
they didn't recall like properly on time, then I could recall, go Krugs Raptors, and then gank bot. And then after the gank is done, I can walk back up to Wolves and those are spawned.
Okay. Um, Something I'm thinking here is essentially is like when you're moving from here, just taking Grump, Wolves, Raptors, and then basing, because it'll have like a very similar effect.
Hmm.
Although, like the difference being that Gromp will spawn sooner,
So
right?
you want to cycle the higher value camp earlier. Is that what
No,
you're
it's
saying?
it's it's more that so if so let's say you do wolves into Gromp right now,
Okay.
it will also spawn again as wolf into Gromp,
Yep.
which will kind of lock you here, right?
Hmm.
Whereas if you do Gromp into wolves and you finish the gank, you can move Gromp to wolves and go bot again, but it won't lock you bot, right?
Right.
It's also one of these things where if you do Gromp wolves you still have options. It's like, but let's say something weird happens bot lane, you have options towards just going top anyways, right? There's kind of just like, um, I'd say there's two things that come in here. So firstly, like the when question, I think the answer here, we'll just see how it ends up going. It's a bit like result based, but the when question to me, like the answer to that question didn't make perfect sense. Because like you mentioned, okay, I want to be bot around this point. I understand that you're mid, like that's like nothing weird to me. You should be pushing this, by the way, even though LeBlanc will hate you for it, because this is really bad for LeBlanc if you don't push this.
That's what I figured, but I didn't know like how fast. I didn't like
As
time the
fast as
other
possible.
wave. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like this is like one of those cases, right, where um, if you kill Gromp into wolves into like you know into mid at that point, you can still choose to recall after taking Raptors, which would make a lot of sense with your gold, right?
Yep.
As your gold would be around like the 800 range, or you can decide to like still go bot after a base.
Maybe it is too results based because that's what I described happens like it works for me a bit too many times, I think.
Well, if it works, it
Like
works, right? It's one of those
but
things.
I still do get punished for it though.
Hmm.
Like with the whole like Viego taking my bot side thing or my top side.
Yeah.
But, um because if I went chickens then
I mean, he has to like take. Your golems should be fine. They should still
yeah.
be up. And here,
But
like
if
staying mid doesn't make sense. Like here, I mean, never mind. Yeah, staying mid shouldn't give you anything. And here, like not taking blue would make sense to me. Okay, he already took it from you. But like I think in this case, you shouldn't take blue because it won't give you anything, right? Generally, camps are good to take when they give you either a level up or an item, or when there's like nothing to do on the map.
um I think I need 2 camps for 6 though.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
I was thinking since my wolves are up, I could go like at least be in this area because
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
just saw
but it's
Viego
like
come
it's
from the
one of
top
those
side.
things where you have to ask yourself the same questions again, right? Like where do I need to be, and what time do I need to be there? Oh, this Gromp is not spawning very soon at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like this decision doesn't make some sense, obviously, from like the POV of like just like snowballing lanes that are ahead. But I think the opposite would make a lot of sense as well, right? Just like a question would be like, where do you need to be, or like if you get a camp, can you get something from it? And in this case, I think from your entire top side, you would actually gain a lot, which would arguably be more than what you're getting here. Regardless, I think that choice was fine. Yeah, very high likelihood that you got spotted there. And here I just race top lane because the entire top side is still up. And at this point, if we're basing, we're not gonna have like the same amount of items as if we do all the camps here, right? I think if we do the camps, we can get like boots upgrade plus like boots upgrade, the Bami, and the like one other item opposed to what you're getting right now. So I think it's better to just like clear all of this and then just, move into base anyways. Yeah, and here obviously like the order of camps is a bit strange. I like that you're looking to go mid. Okay.
Um
Hmm.
the red first was because Scion was gonna die, so I was worried
Okay.
about the Viego invade.
Okay. If that's your reasoning, then that's fine. It's just how it is a lot of the times, right? Like where something is wrong unless you had a specific reasoning. Right.
Oh, you mean like some people just take the red
Yeah.
uh in that situation randomly
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then it like doesn't last as long.
Yeah. Well, that and it's just like um, the order sets you up to basically you need to go down a certain route instead of like having the option to go to multiple routes, right?
Okay.
Because like basically like one of the questions we always ask, right, is like where do we need to go? And in order to be capable of always um, following up on the answer there, is basically setting ourselves up for a route that allows us to go multiple directions, right?
Okay. So like hmm since top like has the potential to like start winning again because he's farming pretty well, then it's in my best interest to like not always go bot.
Yeah, so basically there will be questions asked like within the game, basically any moment asks you the question of okay, where should I be right now? What would be the best spot for me to be right now?
Right.
And top lane obviously is not very enticing at all. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't watch.
Oh, if I was Ezreal, man, I'd be so tilted. Oh my god. But yeah, so any moment in the game asks you the question, where, like, what lane needs your attention the most right now, right? Or like, where should you be going right now? What's the lane with the highest potential of success? What's the lane, like, let's say top lane is getting dove by Viego and it looks really nice for you, right? When being offered the choice of like a camp route, right? So like in this context, like when it doesn't matter which you take first, if you take red then chickens, or the other way around, right? Which in this case it doesn't really. There's reason for the red because of Viego and everything, but let's say we ignore that, right? When there's literally no reason to choose one for over the other, it tends to be better to choose the route that gives you the most options afterwards,
Okay.
right? Which is kind of like similar to the scenario here, right? Where in essence, it doesn't matter if you do Grump Wolves or Wolves Grump, right? So it's better to choose the route that gives you more options afterwards.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Yeah, that does make sense. Cause like if you're and here it'd be the same with like Krug's Raptors.
Yeah.
Because if you take Krugs into Raptors, you can still path to top.
Yeah.
But if you do Raptors Krugs, you can pretty much like only path to top or
Exactly.
mid.
Right. And this kind of
So
like how your
it's more
jungles right
flexible.
now is also like how the camps spawn and like really weird timings and stuff is also like a result of you just taking like
Yeah,
absolutely random camps at all times. And like I think this blue buff is a really good take. I don't like that smite, but
I just thought I needed to get there quicker, but
yeah.
I don't. They're just gonna die anyway.
Oh, you just press E first ability.
Yeah, that was. I think that was a little troll. I
Very.
Yeah, I do the W first out of habit. It's
Yeah,
not.
makes sense. Yeah, and here like for example like going Wolves Gromp would like lock you into going bot directly,
Yeah.
which you know like going Wolves Gromp like going Wolves first would make sense from a POV of well the enemies are all in my jungle so I can't even take Gromp, right?
Yep.
That's what you're doing right now, which makes a lot of sense. But I think we'll soon go over the next VOD. We'll just go over the first two as well.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Where I think that you know, one of the issues here is essentially, or like, you know, one of the things you can grow in is um, basically setting yourself up to be capable of doing more than like following thing, you know.
Okay, I see what you mean. If you only set yourself up to follow the best lane, then there's a chance that just because of your pathing,
Yeah.
you will miss opportunities in the other lane.
Yeah,
But
and
if you
also
keep,
like your pathing will just ruin pathing for future paths, right?
hmm but if I keep my pathing flexible, I can still follow up on that lane,
Exactly.
but I just give myself the option to go to the other lanes.
Um, I'll screen share when everything works again. I have a laptop which is not very good.
Yeah.
So it's like whenever it's recording and screen sharing and Chrome and everything, it does not like it.
Ah, unfortunate.
It'll get there eventually. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I think that's like you know, obviously um because I'm coming from like a different starting point than Chris, right? Where Chris focused very much on like the first clear and making sure to just continually gank the lane that's like the ticks, right?
Yep.
I like to start by focusing on pathing and making sure everything makes sense, right? So essentially, we're just going through like a second stage one.
I mean, I don't mind.
That's good. It's just like, it's extra skills, it's extra understanding of how to view the role, how to view everything that happens within the jungle.
I mean, I'm sure that's worth more um at this point than just trying to speed run stage 4
Yeah.
and then unlock stage 5.
Yes. Which I think at this point is like, um, it's like two things, right? On one hand, it's like, um, the question still is, are you just feeling comfortable using F keys and stuff like that? It looks like you're comfortable with that in your first clear, but afterwards it drops off a lot, right?
Yep.
So I think there's like still a lot of growth there, right? So like I definitely wouldn't mention like, oh yeah, like let's just get started with stage 5. This is looking great. No, it's the early game's looking good, but that's kind of it, right?
Yep.
So there's still a lot of growth there, and I think you can do both kind of together. So. Uh huh. You could either Scuttle or Golems. Both be good.
I should have checked for Orgot TP. I didn't know what spell he was running here.
Oh, I really like that you're going mid here as opposed to like going Scuttle.
Watch this.
I think a lot of people would go Scuttle there. But I think this is way better.
Yeah, old me would have gone Scuttle there. And then, I'm not sure what happened, but at some point I just started doing the mid and changed my life the first time I did it because I ganked top and then mid and bot and then ended up getting another Scuttle anyways. So
Yeah.
people say Scuttle meta, but I don't.
Hmm.
Like, a gank is definitely worth more than a Scuttle.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where it's like ganks in general, right? Like if you think about like the role of a jungler and what a jungler is capable of, like catching jungle farm is is way less good than getting a successful cup, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it looks like the Lux is extremely safe. Probably is not seeing you, but baseline extremely safe.
Syndra. I tried.
Yeah, you
I
could
wasted
actually
a
like.
lot of time there.
Mhm.
But like
That's
I have too much gold to be comfortable taking chickens here.
yeah, yeah. You should like this is way better. And this like question like from the base, I see you running towards bot, and then the question would be like, why are you running bot right now?
Okay. Um
Like, what is your plan, right? When you're leaving base, thought it should be like in your head of like the first question would be like, is there any lane that needs me or that I can do something, right?
right.
And I think there would be
Uh
reason like that's kind of like why this is a good question to ask is because you've literally not once looked at bot lane and you're pathing towards
well
it.
the I know here. Wait, maybe I'm misremembering. Can you turn the video quality up? I
Yes.
can't really see
Oh,
the
sorry.
bot lane.
720. Good.
I'm gonna set your computer on fire.
No, no,
The 1080.
no. That'd be wild, no.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking, since the enemy bot lane is pushed in and they haven't backed yet, this is a good time to look for a gank. And if the gank doesn't go as planned, that's okay. I can just farm my respawning bot. And if
Mm.
like on the way, the mid needs a gank because Lux overstays, I can just go mid as well.
Hmm.
Because I was I F keyed a few times to blitz in my first few clears, and then I didn't see him land a successful hook a single time. So I think at some point I just abandoned the bot lane.
Hmm.
But I don't know if that's even correct to
I mean,
do though.
so the real question is, right? Like right now you're leaving base, and your immediate click is bot lane. even though during the last 2 minutes or like last minute and a half, you did not FK bot a single time.
Mm-hmm.
What is making like? Then the question becomes like, what is making it so that you can know the information necessary to decide to go bot lane, right?
Oh, well, on the minimap they're pushed up, so
Yeah, but then pushed up with the wave shoving into Lucianami is very different than pushed up with the wave pushing into Kate Blitz, right?
um,
You get me?
if I have if I'm up this many items, is it that different?
I mean, it's one of those things, right, where um, you're making a decision without first trying to gather the information,
I see what you're saying now.
right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So,
Like
hmm,
basically, if you move to like right here, right? If your thought is, okay, I'm gonna go bot lane here, right? Why are you not passing right now, right?
right, I see what you mean. So
Like
I should have
there's a lot of opportunities there to do something, even with buying. And by the way, like looking from bot as well, like if I just straight up look at it with his, which is a little bit of cheating. It does look like if enemy bot is not gonna let you like keep shoving, then it will reset into the enemy side.
Yep.
So it's kind of like one of those things, right, where I think it would have been entirely reasonable of you to go like top camps instead, right? With
Oh,
the well, yeah, because um, Urgot's looking to push up right now. Ornn already has a tick, right? I think it would have been reasonable to go golems, or in this case, or even raptors, right? Uh,
I see what you're saying.
right. And this kind of like coming from the thing where it's like, well, if you have the information telling you, okay, bot lane is literally free gank, then I'd be like, oh yeah, for sure, like, hell yeah, kite bot. But you don't have that information. So at that point, what is making the decision for you that going bot is better than going top, right? Yeah, this is still a gank. Yep. And then here you
I
can see the
could,
minimap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If I did what you said, that would have happened a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But um, the the reason that would happen sooner is because if I went to Chicken's Krugs there or like Krugs Chickens and I saw the gank opportunity, I'm in closer proximity and he's the one. If we're gonna talk about the ticks, he's the one with the ticks, so I
Yeah.
would at least look there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead I go bot, even though
Yeah.
I don't have enough info to know that that's the correct decision.
Yeah. And that's kind of like a similar decision, right? Like, I mean, here it makes more sense, right? Because blue buff spawns.
Yeah.
But again, there would be reason to consider going top lane here, right? And the main thing to like the main like keyword here is like consider, right? Because at least like the first path and this path again, right? It was based on like the thought of like, yeah, this is where I should go. This is looking really good, right? Which could be true, but it is only actually valuable or actually like true or a true good play if you've considered the other opportunities.
Right. Oh god. Don't look.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was just me mental
Yeah,
AFK. I don't know what
yeah,
happened
because you
there.
knew J4 was there. As like one of those other things, right, where your bot lane already has a couple crosses as well.
Yep.
Same with your mid.
That I think I knew that and then just went for it anyway. That was kind of troll.
Very.
At the very least, I could have just gone wolves, get 6, and then go back down.
Yeah. mid is a consideration after Raptors, of course. 'Cause before Raptors, you're not doing anything. It's like one of those like pray that the minions didn't see you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did with
Yeah,
the
I'm pretty
one
sure too.
the board one.
Yeah. Here, mid over vet is something I like. Like the idea of. Okay. I was expecting you to
Yeah.
flash, but ult's way better.
Yep. Stage
Yeah, and
3, by
this
the way.
minimap. My brother, I think the Nami was free there.
Yeah, that was just troll. There's like the way I do the minimap focus is like if like right after a fight or something successful happens, instead of checking minimap or like FKing automatically, I just kind of there's like a brief window of time where I'm only autopiloting. I recognize that like really recently, so there's not much time to
hmm
fix it yet. But it feels like that's one of the things that's one of the bad habits that's really gating me when I notice like how often I do it.
hmm
So that's something I plan on
Yeah.
focusing on
Something you can
in the short term.
consider with that is the I'm not sure if you talked about this with Chris, like one of the options for practicing stage 4 is you can look up on YouTube or there's different programs, right, where it basically makes a noise, like a dinging noise or a ping noise, right, every 5 or 10 seconds. And basically, you just play that while you're playing the game, and every time you hear a ding, you just look at the minimap.
I know
And
that like the metronome to get you into the habit of looking to the
yeah,
minimap is a thing. I don't know like how much I think it's useful because it's not like that gives you any.
it's
Whoa,
one of those
what
things
it,
where if it's very habitual to just constantly look at the minimap, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to not look at the minimap.
right.
That's the main advantage there.
My issue with that is it doesn't give you like you're not doing it to get the info, you're just doing it to do it. So if I can just get into the
Yeah,
habit of doing it to get info, then
yeah. So
I
something
that feels like
that
a better way.
so basically like how to look into that, in my opinion, is stage 4 is 2 skills in one essentially. Firstly, it's the skill of just being capable of looking at the minimap consistently while doing what you can do, what you already do, right? We're literally just like, can your eyes move like this? Yes or no, right?
Mm,
The
okay.
second part of it is, what are you doing with this information that you're gaining? Are you actually like, from like just looking constantly, you will notice some things, obviously. There's some things that are just like super obvious. But at the same time, you can also do way more. So the question at that point would just be, what can you do with this information? How can you get more out of it? So I'd say that the minimap dinging thing is very good for just training your eyes to be capable of constantly looking at the minimap and basically forcing yourself to gain the habit as like a part 1 of stage 4, and then the part 2, like actually using that information, can always be learned after. Like it doesn't need to be coming at the same time. And
Yeah.
generally this order of like looking at the minimap into trying to gain information works slightly more efficient than the order looking to gain information into into like hoping
Yeah.
that that automatically gives you the of just like constantly looking, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're separating out the uh
Yeah, just
what
like
was I about to
the
say?
physical skill. What? Oh, ping. Okay. Yeah, it's like the physical skill, right? Your eyes need to be capable of moving that fast or like consistently,
Yeah.
versus like the focus skill, right? Like, there's the physical aspect, the eye movement, and there's a mental aspect, the quality of your focus. And what you were mostly mentioning there is like the quality of your focus, right? Where what could be lacking is just like the physical aspect. Just actually constantly looking, just being capable of it without it distracting you.
I guess the order there does make more sense. The yeah.
I like that
I'm
you're
trying to
canceling this
remember.
one.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how my brother learned minimap awareness because when he plays games he like rarely actually looks at the camera. He just looks at the minimap the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to remember how he did it because like um also his like his eye movements are like really fast. So it's not like I can do that yet, but at
Yeah,
least
but
the
that's
way that he
something
got there,
that's
I
very
can.
easily practicable.
Right. And he has so much more experience than me, so that's not I don't have to reproduce that yet.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
as long as I like find out what his method is, that's something I can attempt.
Yeah, you can always attempt that. Like like a lot of things are suggestions in the end, right? Where there's many options that would all be valid.
Yeah.
Still think it's so funny, by the way. Like, I'm not sure if you actually know this, but there used to be a time where Urgot was super strong at top, which made a top like very meta for quite a while. It's hilarious.
I think um I heard that in a video about Rammus Top. Can't remember.
Yeah, it's like one of the like strongest champions against Urgot because of the fact that like his quick
Yeah, yeah,
autos with your W and like the Bramble
yeah.
is so funny. It's like literally impossible for him to do anything. And you mentioned your brother. Is he someone that like worked with Chris as well, or?
No, he's a StarCraft player.
Okay, yeah.
He's not a pro, but he attempted. So
Yeah. StarCraft 1 or 2.
two.
Okay,
He's younger than me, so definitely two.
okay. I have a deep respect for anyone still attempting to play one.
Oh, definitely. That stuff is nightmare fuel for me. Cause like I'm not a gamer, so
uh,
like League is actually my first video game, so this is
cool.
not like something I try to uh get deep into until recently. So
Mm-hmm.
just like seeing like other games, like watching other high level players play, like Shroud is like not human. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just players like that it really blows me away
Yeah.
because I'm not like I'm not like a guy who ever had to focus on mechanics because I never had to play any games that really
Mm.
required it. So getting to this point is I don't know what I just saw. Anyways, getting to this point is a new experience for me.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's really happy to. It's really nice to hear that as well.
I don't think I should have queued there. I need to go mid.
I think it's fine to go base here with your gold. I think something we could have talked about a little bit earlier is like you deciding to just completely ignore red.
Yeah, that's the more I think about like the way you clear, like the more obvious it is to me that the way I clear, especially when like laning phase ends, is really ends.
Oh,
Oh god.
that was a huge ultimate actual MVP right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
This
3v5. Like, what would you expect? But like, that was pretty
yeah.
sick. Okay, Caitlyn's dead as well. Yeah. Let's just look at the next one.
Yeah, that game was pretty doomed. I just ran it down 5 times and then on the
Worst.
last
Okay, let's not look at the worst map awareness.
Yeah. Well, you get to
Failing
look
every
at.
stage. Okay,
Oh
got very
God.
promising titles.
Yeah, I do my own like VOD review thing
Hmm.
before I upload them,
Makes
and
sense.
I try to pinpoint at least what I think my issues are with that game, so it gives
Hmm.
a starting point.
Yep.
Because I feel like that's just easier for the coach.
Yep. It's very nice to do. Oh, right. I need to do this real quick. Then actually open it. This didn't open before. But yeah, so in regards to like um perspective as well, I think um a lot of times there are very nice things that you're doing, right? Something that like it's like very ironic oftentimes like the different things I get from different students because most of my students are the type that just clear camps all the time and don't do anything else, right?
I think about that a lot actually, because uh, I was looking at a Rammus player that I ran into online yesterday,
Yeah.
and the dude is the same rank as me, but I have 5 CS a minute for average on every game, and he has like 7.5.
Yep.
So, like seeing the differences in how we play is really confusing, especially since like they don't even think about how they path. They just
Yep.
like full clear and then
Yep.
full clear.
Full clear again. Where I
Yeah, it makes
think
you
like the actual like place to be would be like in the middle, right? Where yeah, like you want your clear to make sense. You don't want to do like completely random things. But at the same time, the power of a jungler often lies in being capable of like thinking critically about what will work and what won't work, right? Getting
right. Yeah.
information. That's in the end the most important skill to have is just being capable of thinking very critically about where you should go, how quick you should need to be there, and if that's very slow, what would be the most efficient way to pass there, and then obviously like just taking into account your first like the actual clear that's happening right now is relatively easy, but the more difficult part comes in when you like take into account the fact that camps respawn at a specific time, forcing you into like other routes later on. If you like mess up your camps one time, then it can be messed up very long, which is why it's so easy as well to just full clear constantly, right? Because
Right.
your camps will always just make sense, so you just follow the line like, over and over again. It's not something that's very good because like I don't think like just full clear constantly actually improves that much, improves you that much. I think constantly ganking improves way more, just due to the nature of being capable of being in scenarios where you're going to be tested and being forced to like constantly critically think. It's very beneficial.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
But yeah.
I wonder actually how much I'm limited by
Till minions spawn.
my decision making as opposed to like getting info to make better decisions. I think I worded that pretty bad.
I think
Like
it's a
the
combination of both.
I mean that's what I figured, but the the point to getting uh how do I say this? Like being able to gather more information
Minions have
as in
spawned.
like just stage 4
Mm.
comes way after like how you actually make the decision,
Hmm.
which is the earlier stages. And that's why like my intuition is that the quality of the information I'm using to make a decision is what I can really improve right now.
Yes.
The I feel like just due to how I learned jungle, I feel
Hmm.
like my decisions are way lower quality though compared to some of the other junglers I can just watch online. The sometimes I don't even know what it is. Like it just every decision just feels clean. If I like just watch some challenger jungle smurf through low elo,
Yeah.
it feels like everything lines up. And then I'm just stuck in this scenario where it's like I'm watching uh some I don't know, some chess master stomp a scrub, and it's like, how did that even work? And then I don't
Yeah.
know enough about the game to come to like the right conclusion when I watch. And
Yeah, I think one of the important things to just like take into account there is like whenever you're looking at a challenger VOD, something I would constantly ask yourself is like whenever he like moves to a camp, right? Just ask yourself, after this camp, where would I go? Right? And
yeah,
if you don't have enough information to make a decision there, that's like then you can realize, okay, actually like this player is messing up here because I don't even know if I want to go top or take this camp, right?
yeah, that's like you're like trying to predict, like you have the information that's on the camera. You
Yeah,
just pause
so
the
for, I
video.
mean, this is like an opening route, but and I think you're moving top here for a gank, but let's just skip into like, yeah, I don't care too much about the execution here. Looks like it went very wrong. But like basically, right now we're in base, we're coming out. You would ask yourself like, okay, like just pause and you just ask yourself, okay, where would I go if I was this jungler? What makes sense to me? Think going top could be a decision that's valid, right? Think going bot would be a decision that's valid. I would want to see the bot wave state to really make a decision here, right? So
Mhm.
right now I'm thinking, okay, it's either golems or gromp, and what will decide is the bot wave state. So now I'm expecting you to look at bot to decide based on that information, right? And I see you're running to the scuttle, right? So here I think this decision, like this is like a completely bizarre decision, right? This makes no sense at all. It would have made sense probably if you look bot lane, but you didn't. You just rushed down. And now
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
this is like a bizarre choice. This makes zero sense. It's not like a reasoned choice where, you know, you're realizing, okay, this actually has more, like this is way more valid than the other choice, right? And then after the scuttle, it's another question, right? Where it's like, okay, where do you go after this? And I think the easy options would be either mid or Gromp, right? And I think like right now, I don't understand this because this camp is obviously down, right?
I think I just want to get deep vision and then check if Krugs are up because I know he's top side. So, oh, why did I ward there?
Yeah, I think that's more. I think that's generally valid, but I think it's significantly more valid if you don't have anything to do on your own side, right?
Um, okay. Uh, hmm.
Especially
If I
mentioning it because you don't know where the enemy bot is and stuff like that. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, so like that's like because they're still walking here, they can actually do it out there. But obviously, if you manage to get this, it's very good. And here, like obviously, this is a questionable gank, right? With how big the minion wave is, ends up working out pretty good. But again, this is something where you just need to actually look to be able to properly judge what would be best here. And here's another question, right? Where it's like, okay, is he gonna go to his own side of jungle? Is he gonna go mid? Is he gonna go enemy raptors? Was Zac still top at this time?
No. Yeah, yeah, this is something I realized while I was watching. Like, I don't think the Raptors take here is actually safe, and then I think I do it anyway.
Yeah, if Zac is not top here, it makes no sense to take raptors there, right? So here I would always take Gromp. Oh, you see him? You just see him. And like here, I think again, like this is one of those things, right, where it's like, okay, you're taking wolves over Gromp here. That's a bit questionable, right? Because the only reasoning I could imagine here is that you're thinking about doing wolves into Gromp into bot lane.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The only way you can make that decision is
Yeah.
by
It's
having the information that bot
yeah.
lane is in a state that is currently like pushing towards the enemy. It's gonna bounce back by the time you finish Gromp. That's the only way where
Right.
that decision makes sense, right? I have no clue about that because you haven't clicked bot once. Like there you go, click bot once. Yeah, like you kind of have to go right now then, which is awkward because normally after the have wolves up, but now you only have Gromp up, right? Where this decision can be made way easier, um, you know. Oh, oh, yeah, and if you base here,
Yeah.
I think it's kind of awkward as well, right? So again, like this is one of those things where, because of your first decision to do wolves instead of Gromp, you are then forced into, looking like you look very late at bot and realize, oh shit, I need to go right now, otherwise it won't work, right? And then you go right now and doesn't work, and because of that, like you're in a super awkward spot right now. If you just look at the way your jungle is set up, right? I do not understand what's going on here.
I saw Zachbot.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, I mean, I did not know for sure that these wolves would be up, so
I think I counted his CS.
okay.
I
If that's something you were like actively focusing on, then this is good.
I think it was an accident that I counted his CS, but it
Oh,
worked.
okay.
Um, hmm. Maybe because I felt like I wasn't at FKing yet in comparison.
Yeah,
So
so
I just
like,
did the minimap
yeah,
first, but
it's
it
just
sounds like that's a huge problem for me.
it's one of the like major skills within jungle, right?
Mhm.
Part of the reason why, um, with like completely unfamiliar students, like completely new students, um, I like to do like focus on basically pathing first, and then just focus on, you know, F key and gaining information to decide, and then move into like enemy jungler and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
you actually do FKing early.
yeah, but that's just due to how I start and stuff like that. It's
I kind
the result ends up like very similarly. Um, there's advantage for both. You know.
I actually really like the early like FKing earlier than how Chris does it.
It's something I like, that's why I do it. Yeah, I would take golems here all the time. I do not think it makes sense to recall here because I think like so like right now if you look at the minimap and you ask yourself, okay, where can I do something? The answer
Yeah,
is nowhere, right? Like
yeah, nowhere. So
there's literally
yeah.
nothing for you to do. If there's nothing for you to do, right? The choices are either base and do clear or just clear right now.
Yeah, but if I clear right now, then it cycles earlier. So
Well, that and right now if you're basing, your item buy isn't actually that great, right? Whereas right now there's literally nowhere for you to be. You have like 800 gold, which can't really be used that well. Your entire jungle is up, right? So here again, the choice would be base or do another camp.
yeah, I think here like basing is better
Yep,
because I have more info on
yep.
what bot lane's
Yeah,
gonna
I would
do.
have liked to tab eye there, I think.
I thought of that.
It's something I
I,
noticed by the way that you buy boots very late, like on
yeah,
Rammus.
I don't know why I do that. I just do.
You probably
Maybe I
shouldn't.
just yeah, true, true.
With
Uh,
Rammus, it's kind of good to have upgraded boots.
yeah. I think that what is it? maybe I just like having the mythic earlier. I don't know.
Enemy rampage.
Yeah, so walking into this bush and clearing the pink wards, I don't understand.
So we know where everybody is,
Yeah.
and my team is pretty close, so I felt comfortable. Maybe I shouldn't feel comfortable.
No, that's not the question. The question is why are you clearing the pink wards over all the other things you can do,
Ah, okay.
right?
Um, oh yeah, that's true.
Because
It
your
felt
entire
like it,
jungle was up, Scuttle was up, right?
yeah.
Dragon's up if that's a consideration. I don't think it needs to be, by the way. Like, you can just ignore dragons pretty much every game. But I think
I
what
mean,
should be a consideration is like, Gromp Wolves. Because like, let's say you were clearing it like this entire time, you'd already be on red right now, right?
I see what you're saying,
That's a
actually.
big difference.
That's yeah, that is a lot of wasted time. Um, like
And the
I
gate
normally,
is,
yeah, I normally wouldn't think about clearing the pinks as wasted time there because like I'm securing vision and stuff, but I didn't have to be the one to do that. I do have to
yeah,
be the one to clear my camps.
yeah. And here
Okay.
again, right, like the question becomes, why are you skipping Gromp here? And what is this recall?
Um, that I'm. Oh yeah, I looked at this VOD yesterday, and I literally didn't know what I was doing here. Um.
Right, because that
Well,
did not make sense. I think
yeah.
I think start any camp could be a starter, by the way, here. Do you understand why?
The okay. So if I do any like it's fine because gank. The mid is oh I need to look at the mid, but like it's at least in an even state, so it's
Yeah.
gankable.
Right.
And then
So yeah, if we start at golems, we'd be moving towards mid, which would be a good option. If we start raptors, we'd be moving towards top. Golems could also be a pick for going golems into top into jungle again, right? Which is kind of like the two questions again, right? Is where do I need to go and when do I need to be there? Let's say we judge we need to go top. We want to go top, right? Because we think there's the opportunity there. There's three ways of going top, right? Or there's actually more, but we can do three camps, two camps, or one camp, right? So there could be reason to doing golems here because we're judging we only have one camp's time, like one camp's worth of time before the opportunity, you know, is lost in top lane, right? We could start red
right.
buff and then, either move top or mid if we're deciding, okay, we have a one camp's opportunity, want to maximize our gank, right? We could do red golems if we're deciding it's two camps. We could do um, chickens, red golems into top if we're deciding there's a lot of time. If I'm looking at this wave right now, I'm judging there's not much time, right? So this is probably a one camp into top lane if we're going top lane, right? So I
Right.
think doing either golems here would make sense and looking to go top lane. I think going straight lane would make sense. Um, you know, and I think right now after this, it'd be fine to go top lane. It's also fine to ignore top lane based on the fact that Shen died 4 times.
Yeah, I think I saw his HP and decided not to go.
Yeah, I think that's completely fine.
Rampage.
Especially if once you see him miss that E. And here there's always a red buff take, I think. I mean, if you know his blue is up, then this is okay, but I don't think... Oh, it's up? What?
An
Okay.
enemy is unstoppable.
Did not expect
Um,
this buff to be up, but
I think I saw
yeah.
he didn't have the blue, so then I just decided to check.
Mhm.
But maybe the Gromp is not necessary because I can
I think,
uh
like, when you're taking the enemy jungle, like, right now, if you look at the minimap, there's nowhere where you need to be, right?
right.
So there's no reason for you to, like, rush anyone. and any camp you can take from the enemies is just, like, a lot of gain.
Yeah.
If you're going raptors here, that's strange, right? Because clearing raptors here is gonna result in us moving towards red after. Right. This would suggest that we're trying to gank top lane. What we're doing, like this pathing here.
Oh, I just wanted to go to Herald.
Okay. That would be the other suggestion, right? That we're trying to move to
Yeah.
Herald.
And then like Vayne moved mid, so I thought I just needed to like be here and hover.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Herald.
Yeah.
So then I went to Wolves.
Yeah, this Wolves pick makes a lot of sense, right? If you look at the minimap, there's literally nothing we can do. Right? And if there's nowhere we need to be, then might as well just get gold, right? And here you're judging, okay, I need to be there. I can get a lot here. Good choice. Oh. And then from this POV, right, like I think Scuttle makes sense. And I think going to your own blue, or, you know, helping Lux to your own blue, and then taking the first grump in the game or something.
Yeah, yeah. What level is this? Oh, it's level 1.
Yeah, it is the very first grump in the game. It's gonna give you like
Yeah.
0 experience.
Really?
No.
I thought level 1 Gromp gives more experience than level 18 Wolves, if I remember correctly.
Really?
I remember looking into it once and then not believing what I saw. So I think that is the case.
Oh.
Or maybe it is with Krugs or something.
I know Krugs is a lot of XP. Or at least used
Yeah.
to be. There has been so many changes over the time. It's like,
Yeah, but I
forget.
never fucking take them.
Yeah.
Like, you thought my Gromps were bad. I'd never take Krugs. I hate taking Krugs with Rammus. Yeah, this is just me getting carried by my bot lane.
Yep. Which is fine.
Yep. Tank, by the way.
There's nothing wrong with getting carried by someone. Yeah. Let's actually move
I feel...
towards a conclusion and summary.
Yep.
Because like, let's just talk about the different things we talked about, right? We talked
Sure.
about our own pathing, and we talked about like stage 4, right? And I'd like to separate those for a bit.
Okay.
Let's just start with the pathing in general as like a topic, right? What we focused on a lot here is like the two questions: where do I need to go, and when do I need to be there, right? If there's nowhere to go, then, you know, right? When is it good to take a camp, right? Right. These are moments when it's always good to take a camp. Like sometimes even over a gank, where it's always fine, at least, to take a camp. You could still argue, oh, it's actually better to go bot and get a gank here, but if any of these three is true, then it's never bad to take a camp, right? So let's say you
Yeah, that
see
makes sense.
bot like in a fight, but you know you're gonna get a level up from this grump. It's completely like it's not bad to clear the grump first before going bot,
Right.
right? It might not be the best choice, but it's certainly not a bad choice. It's always a fine or a good choice. Sometimes it's the best choice, sometimes it's not, but it's always a good choice. And at this point, you know, obviously there's nowhere else to go, so this is just the best choice. And if you gain an item, this is mostly when you're looking to base, right? And you just know, oh my god, like I just need a little bit of gold, let me just quickly do a camp, right? Anything else flows into this, right? Where it's just like, I need to go, like let's say I need to go bot, and how like when do I need to be there? Like right now because they're being like dove, right? Or I can take 2 camps because they're slowly getting pushed in, right? Or I can take 4 camps because then they'll be level 6. These kind of, you know, these are kind of like examples of reasonings you could be there, right?
Right.
So basically, after every camp slash recall, um, right, there's the question of where, like, um, what lane do I want to go to now, right? Do I want to take anything uh, in between going there, right? So basically, like, whenever you finish a camp, you just look at the map at your options, right? So your options being like top, mid, bot, and obviously the ticks and just the lane states are going to help you a lot within like closing off some of those options. But like in this game, you know the Shen is super bad. You just tick off top, and that's just like one less option you need to consider, right? Which makes a lot of choices very easy, right? And it's the same like when analyzing, just like pause at every camp they like after every camp they take, and think to yourself, okay, where would I go right now if I were to be in this position? Would I go like would I go to another camp because I think that makes sense? Would I go to a lane because I think they need it right now? If I would go to a lane, would I take a camp in between? No. What side should I move towards? That type of stuff, right? And then like the further question is like, do I have the information? This is for within VOD reviews, right? Basically for yourself within the game, it's basically this, right? And this, and these two are mostly for within VOD reviews, right? How to judge. In regards to like how to look at gank specifically, I'll touch upon it very shortly. There's like in VOD reviews as well. I'll put this bracket above here. It's like when you're reviewing yourself. Um, so within ganks, you want to look at 2 things. One, the idea of the gank, right? Does this make sense? Am I playing with an Ezreal Yumi against, I don't know, like a super safe lane with like Tristana? Is it like super based on luck that this works? Or is this very reason this is a very strong idea, right? Do I know where the enemy do I know the enemy jungler is top side, so I'm moving in? Is this idea very strong? Is idea weak? And then the second thing to look at is the execution. And the execution is not only on your end, it's also on like the end of the enemies, right? If they
Yeah.
play very
Hmm.
poorly, then it will look better than it is. And basically, like this distinction helps um, kind of like remove some result bias within VOD reviews, where it's like, oh yeah, I
Right.
guess it worked out, it was pretty good. No, it's very important to look at like if you see that your opponents were just really bad there, it's important to just like really critically look at that and think to yourself, okay, um, is what I'm going for like praying for them to play this bad again, or is what I'm going for actually like very reasoned and makes a lot of sense, right?
Mm, right.
Yeah. Um, do you have any questions about anything here?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's yeah. Actually, is this being recorded?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I have plenty to go over.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll just
Perfect.
I can just
Yeah. It
rewatch
it
it.
will be uploaded hidden as usual. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check if it's actually yes, it's being recorded. I was pretty sure it was being recorded. um, in regards to stage 4, right? There are multiple elements there, right? So first off is like training your eye/brain, right? Because your brain requires some part of focus to be capable of like holding together all the things you normally do. Train your eye and brain to be capable of constantly looking at the minimap/f keying. Right? This to me is kind of equal. This is considerably easier to make, like what most people do, because it's a very efficient and very uh, pleasant route, is like doing this. Focus at minimap first and then including f keying, right? There will, like, once you like really get to this, you'll almost by yourself be f keying or clicking on a minimap because you just want to know to be able to answer one of those questions, right?
Right.
So, sorry, but that answer was like exactly the same as something Rammus would say.
I I think at some point I just started talking like Rammus after playing him so much.
Right. Okay. But yeah, so this is like the first part of stage one is like just training your eye to be capable of it, and part two is like actually using the information.
Yeah, like the distinction between the information input and the actual calculation running in the
Yeah,
background is
yeah,
like particularly useful. I guess in
yeah.
my case, since I don't really think about it, which is weird because I know this distinction is a thing before you told me, and then I
Well,
just never
yeah.
thought about it.
That's all coaching's about, really.
Yeah, true. Oh, that's my alarm. Hold on.
Okay, that's good. Then we timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
I'll copy paste all of this in here as well. Yeah. Were there any further questions?
All right.
Okay. Did you have any further questions or anything like that?
Hmm.
Always available in DMs, so if it comes
Right.
up, that's fine too.
Um, the thing I was wondering, uh, first off is, when you're free next week?
I'd be so actually I let's message about that.
Gotcha.
I would
Okay.
be free on Fridays for sure, is what I
Okay.
can say.
I will keep that in mind.
Fridays are very easy for
Um,
me.
okay.
Um, I will have a new uni schedule, like just college and or like lectures and everything. So I kind of need to check it for myself to be capable of like really judging.
Got it. Okay.
I assume like you're in the US, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I assume like the later my time would be, the better for your time. Um, I think in general it'd be on either, well, Friday is probably the most likely. Yeah,
Okay.
Friday is the most likely. Otherwise, it'd probably
The
be Wednesday. It'd be best for me.
Okay, that makes sense. The because I think most universities everywhere just have a different thing on Fridays, right?
Yeah, no,
Compared
it's
to
coincidentally just Friday's like a free day for me.
oh
Like it's no lectures,
oh
so
okay
that's why.
okay um
If none of that works, Sunday is possible, but needs to be specific times and need to talk about it.
right.
Yeah.
So I think the I don't want to take away your Sunday, so I can
No, no,
always make
it's
some
fine
room.
because like essentially like for me I have Mondays and Fridays off, but Mondays is I coach a lot already, right? So
Hmm.
it just doesn't work there. Fridays are relatively easy. Because I have Mondays off, Sunday evening is fine for me. So
Okay.
if
Um.
that is like the absolute easiest for you, then Sunday evening is generally possible. Um, but
Okay.
I'll message you about that when it comes closer,
All right. I'll
if
keep that
that's
in
your
mind.
preferred. Yeah. Let's talk about that later anyways. I think that's easier.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There was a I forgot what I wanted to ask about stage four, so I guess I'll
Uh-huh.
just ask about my block of text I wrote about stage five. Is
Yeah.
that like even close?
Um I forgot. I did read about it, but let me actually check real quick. Um, it gets close.
Okay, well, copy paste, post in general.
Post in general where?
In resolve.
Oh no, don't post it in there. Keep it
No, no.
secret. God.
No, it's just the last line is a joke.
I
Just
know.
like
Although to be fair, like um, I think anyone who's like paid enough of an eye on like me, Chris, Lennox, and Sayside talking in the resolve chats should have a solid idea of what stage 5 is.
oh really? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
There have
okay.
been so many like times where we've like mentioned stuff like that where it's it's
Uh,
people should like if they really wanted to, they could have a pretty solid idea.
oh, that is okay. That's pretty funny. All right. I have to go now,
Yeah,
but
that's perfect.
thanks for making time.
Yeah. Um, should I send you my PayPal or?
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty much.
okay,
And
perfect.
then I'll just do that while I'm in the middle of my meeting, which
Perfect.
I should probably go to now.
Yeah, have a nice one.
All right. Thank you
See you
so much,
around.
Matt.
Bye.
See you later.